Let's talk about what no one tells you about hiring UGC creators as an e-commerce brand or SaaS business looking to get a UGC content to scale your paid ads. Hiring UGC creators might actually be one of the worst investments you are making right now. So by the end of the video, the goal is to show you exactly who to hire instead of UGC creators and where you can find them. I'm Jacob and I run 10x ROAS, which is a leading creative agency helping brands scale with performance-driven ads, primarily for Meta and TikTok. So let's take a look at why hiring UGC creators is a bad idea. And if I'm speaking on this topic, it's coming from the experience of over 3 years working with hundreds of UGC creators, producing tens of thousands of videos. So I've seen a lot of UGC creator applications and I've worked with a lot of creators. So over the last 3 years, we've really seen it all. And there's creators charging $300 for basic low quality clips that flop in ads and they never had a chance to actually perform well, while others are demanding thousands for a single video. Most of them don't actually know how to make content that converts. And that's the main challenge here that I want to dive deep into. So most UGC creators jumped on the trend. There was a trend in 2021, 2, and 3, and pretty much in 4 and 5 still, although less popular. And most of them don't understand what actually works in paid ads. They've seen that, oh, they can film content on their iPhone, make money online, like that's what they are doing. They don't really understand what works in paid ads. One of the biggest mistakes brands make is hiring creators from places like Twitter or below without vetting them properly. And the keyword here is without vetting them properly. You can still find good creators on both Twitter or below. You need to just have like a really good system for vetting them and really finding which creators are actually good and that understand what makes the videos perform. And even though you find them, there are still a few tips I want to share to let you know exactly how to work with them to get the content that has the best chances of being winner in your ad account. So it is really fast, easy to find them, but the problem is that these platforms are filled with new creators who just want to cash in and without actually knowing how to film content that sells. And that's very easy to understand when you watch the videos that they film and how they work, although not obvious every time. And if you don't give these creators detailed scripts, you're basically throwing money down the drain. And so what usually happens is if you don't give them an actual script they need to film, what the shot list and the shots they need to take, a lot of times you'll see UGC content that they'll hold the product in their hands and they'll just read off the label. They'll try to add some fillers because they don't really know like what to communicate about the problem or the product. They don't understand the problem it solves. They don't understand really what customers are looking for in the product. And if you don't do that work on your end, communicating that and managing the creators, the work that they are going to do and the content they are going to film is not really going to be good and it's rarely going to perform well. So who should you hire instead of the UGC creators? The best creators you'll ever work with are people who don't even call themselves UGC creators. And we've proven this with hundreds of actual creators that we work with. Not all of them, and like rarely any, were kind of being called UGC creators on Twitter or on Instagram. And we've worked with probably dozens and hundreds of those who were called UGC creators and who had their own website, own portfolio on Canva, and all of that stuff you see. That's like a template copy. When we worked with them, they either charge outrageous prices, deliver content that wasn't even good, didn't even perform, and it was just a challenge to work with because we had to wait 2 weeks to get any content back. So that's where the bad experience comes from. And so I kind of have it in here. I made a typo here, but really who's the best person to hire for the content is the friend who makes travel vlogs, the fitness influencer with amazing gym clips, or even somebody who just films great content as a hobby. Like that's who you want to look for. And you want to get the regular person who just films great content. They're authentic on camera and they are not very introverted on camera where they cannot really act or they cannot communicate well. You want someone who's like natural on camera, but they shouldn't be called UGC influencer or UGC creators. And you also don't want really big influencers because they are just going to charge you outrageous prices. And if the ads are supposed to go on Meta ads or TikTok ads, doesn't really have that much benefit of them having a ton of followers. if you're not doing whitelisting especially. So I kind of have it in here. And these creators will charge you less and deliver better content, and usually often more authentic content. And that's because they are not really trying, and they are authentic. They don't have bad habits from the UGC content that some creators on Twitter or below might have. And they are naturally good at filming engaging content if you actually choose the good creators. So where do you find these creators? So let's take a look at a couple of things. Reach out manually. So you want to find micro influencers. So people who have like under that 10,000 followers, I would say. At that point, you can get fair prices, and they do have some good content that people like to follow, or really just people posting great organic content. You want to DM them, ask if they like to collaborate, give them a simple brief, easy. They film the content, you ship them the products, and you can do this. It's very similar to influencer seeding. So you find some micro influencers, you ship them the products, you ask them to film a simple video. In this case, you actually want to pay them for their work. So not only you ship the products, you actually want to pay them. You want to have more of like, they film the content for you, they know you're going to use it for ads, they're okay with that, and you give them a brief or actual script that you want them to film. And then Backstage is a good platform. Unlike Twitter or below, Backstage has many actual actors who know how to perform on camera, so it's a good starting ground. But you still need to filter a lot of applications to find the actual creators who are really great and who are actually going to charge you fair prices, deliver great content, be easy to work with. So here we've probably reviewed thousands and tens of thousands of applications, and we're consistently working with hundreds of creators here. So Backstage is a good choice, but you still need to do a lot of work, and it takes a lot of hours to actually filter through all of the irrelevant applications you're going to get there. And so we've worked with some of the best long-term creators there, and the best part is they don't charge outrageous prices because they're not just here to make quick buck. So they are not hopping on a trend like, I'm gonna film 2 videos and I'm gonna live on a boat for 10K a month or anything like that. They are actually regular people. Most of them do have jobs, and they film on the side after the work. They still deliver content on time. They're really kind of authentic, and they can film with friends, family members, kids. That's really great, and those are the creators you want to work with. And they actually love filming content. Now, before we go, or before you go and hire your next creator, here's 4 tips that I can share to make possible for you to get the best content out of working with these regular creators. Because the challenge here is the regular creators or kind of micro influencers, they might not be the best immediately. So you still want to train them, you want to share the materials, you want to share the best practices, how you want them to film the content, stuff like that. So they're not going to be the best from the start. Still want to work with them, but they're going to be much more, they're going to be easier to work with. They're going to have good content, and you can work with them in long term. They're not going to charge you crazy prices. They are not going to charge you if you run ad over a month. And so you just want to make sure that you work with regular people, but still train them, provide very detailed instructions. So the number one thing is you always need to have a signed agreement with them. This protects you from creators trying to charge extra after your ad goes viral. The regular people who became creators don't usually do this, but the UGC creators and people who call themselves UGC creators on social media, they usually try this. Like if you run the ad over a month or 3 months, they're going to try to charge you extra because they think that their ad is really the best and they deserve to get paid more because you've been running it for a few months. Just have a signed agreement with the compensation agreed on, so they don't come back to you 3 months later and charge you anything extra. And you just avoid a lot of headaches by having a signed agreement with them. Give them a script and clear instructions. So even the best creators need guidance to align with your brand messaging, and especially legal restrictions if there are any. We are working with a lot of health and wellness brands. Many of them have some restrictions on what they can say, what they cannot say, what they can film, what they cannot film. So you want to make sure you give them a script, because you should have your in-house person, or when you work with a creative agency like ourselves, we are going to provide the scripts for them, and we are also going to communicate some clear instructions on what they should do, what they shouldn't do, and exactly how we want to have the outcome of the content. And we always ask them to film raw content, which is the third point, is edit videos in-house. So always ask creators to film raw content and never rely on them to edit the videos, because your team knows best what works for your audience. If your audience is younger, then you want to have fast-paced videos. If your audience is older, you want to have some slower storytelling, go in depth, maybe longer videos, explaining in more detail. And so it really depends on the brand and who is your target audience that you're targeting with the videos. So that's why I would never really let creators edit the videos. I like to have this in-house, and you can have like a freelance video editor if you need to edit these videos. You still want to train them on what you aim for, but it's always best to have in-house video editors who can help with this. And you always need to confirm their availability before sending the products. This will help you avoid delays by making sure the creator is actually free to film. Many times what happens is that creators will say like, yeah, I want to work on this. It might take you a week to get them confirmed. Like, okay, I have a script for them. I want to ship them the products. They'll get the products. And we've had a creator that just traveled to Japan for 4 months. They just ignored all of our messages, all of our emails. They disappeared. And after 4 months, they told us that they just returned from Japan and they're ready to film, which is really crazy. So you always need to confirm their availability. They might be traveling, they might be sick, they might be something that is blocking them from filming immediately when they receive the products. So always confirm that they are available to film before you ship them any products. And if you are done throwing money at overpriced UGC creators and want to collaborate with someone who's truly skilled at producing really winning UGC ad creatives, we've got you covered. Just hit the link in the description, apply work with us, and we'll cover the entire creative production for you, from scripts to filming and editing and the following optimization when you get some data on the ads to maximize your ad performance. So if this is relevant, just hit the link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.